Welcome YouTubers, this is another video from your friendly neighborhood reviewer, Evelyn. So today we're going to be doing a true crime video. I read the Daily Mail today, read the news yesterday, and I found this story quite interesting. The headline has it, Irishman who dragged dead uncle into post office to claim his pension carries his coffin at his funeral while sporting a black eye after he was attacked by furious locals. Well, the headline sounded really ridiculous and a little bit not a little bit strange, really strange. So this turn of events started off as an Irishman who brought his dead uncle's body to a post office in an attempt to claim his pension has been pictured carrying his coffin at his funeral. Now we can see where people's mindsets are coming down here. So the individual, Declan Hugney, whatever his surname is, 40 years old, was one of the pallbearers at the Church of the Holy Family in Carlow, Ireland. As on Monday, as 66-year-old Peter Doyle was laid to rest. The funeral was held for 3 days after Honey and a friend, Gareth Crockley, fled from a post office in the same town after turning up with Peter's body carried between them, claiming they did not realize he had died. Okay, so let's take a pause for a moment there. The nephew in this case didn't will his uncle in a wheelchair, so we can say, okay, maybe he was unconscious, whatever, he died on the way. But to have, the uncle, to have the nephew and the friend dragging this guy's body, they knew he was dead. They were just trying to cash it on the pension. Culprit here, he denies the charge, and the post-mortem examinations have revealed no signs of foul play on Mr. Dole's body. I could see it this way. The guy probably died in his sleep and they thought, before anything, to cash in the money, which I don't know how they thought they would have not gotten away with that. Hogney, speaking to the Irish Daily Mail, said he was interviewed by Gardaí, who are continuing their investigations but have yet to press charges. As far as he is concerned, he's been cleared and he says he's confident that no charges will be brought. I don't get how no charges will be brought, because he not only knew that bringing in his dead uncle. He's also sticking to his story that he did not know that Mr. Doyle was dead when he brought his body into the post office. Quoting here from the Daily Mail, Peter, the great uncle, was so frail and only weighed about 6 or 7 stone, so whenever he went out, I would have to hold him up, he said. Looking back at what happened, I think he died at the bridge because his legs suddenly went limp. And Gareth had no idea he passed away because this happened a number of times before. Do we give the guy the benefit of the doubt? I don't know, but comment here if the story sounds too ridiculous to be true. Hogney, the nephew, says he's now been targeted by locals who have been advised by family to lay low until the anger has, dissipated, calmed down. But he refuses, saying that he has nothing to hide. And another quote directly from the suspect, "I'm being roared at the streets by people shouting murder at me," he said. "I've also been jumped by local scumbags who beat me up because of what they read. My auntie has advised that I keep a low profile, but I told her I wouldn't because I'm not a murderer." The quote continues for the guy saying, "I hold my head up and walk up down in Carlow all day. People can talk all they want, but at the end of the day, I've been clean from heroin for nearly 3 years and I've served my time in prison." Hogney and his friend had arrived at the post office on Friday afternoon looking to claim for Mr. Dole's pension, but were refused because he was not with them. Okay, so this is where the story turns here. Any sane person would probably think, looking at the time of death. So a short time later, the pair are said to have come back carrying Mr. Doyle's body between them with a jumper pulled over his face and a hat on his head. Concerned workers have said to ask whether Mr. Doyle was okay, and at which point the men are believed to have placed his body on the floor and claimed he was having a heart attack. Okay. Please don't believe Mr. Doyle may have died up to 3 hours before the event took place. Hogney and Cochlear are said to have fled the scene, though Hogney denies this and says he had left to contact relatives before returning. He has said he has not seen his friend since the incident, guessing that he is hiding for the fear of reprisal attacks. We have another quote from the nephew. "Peter had helped raise me, we were like brothers," Hogney said. "You wouldn't want to be one bad bastard to drag your uncle out of bed when he had already died." Hopefully when people read my side of the story and see how I have the support of my family, they'll start to see things differently. At his funeral Monday, Mr. Doyle was remembered as a talented decorator and dedicated family man. Charmaine Dowling, Mr. Doyle's niece, told the church that he had treated all his nephews and nieces like his own children. She said, "You ran to him if you wanted to cry, and soon as he would be dancing around the kitchen table." She recalled that he would take her feed his raising pigeons and would hum songs from Perry Como and Dean Martin. Miss Dowling recalled her Uncle Peter working as a caretaker, a waiter, and as a talented painter who would often quote Shakespeare. Okay, so the other part of this article here is giving tributes to the dead uncle. So what do you think? This is the case of, naivety and being confused, or whether this so-called, nephew was being a good Samaritan and helping his uncle? Okay, this is the end of the video. Something different, a little bit more direct reading of the article. Let me know if this story sounds too ridiculous to be true. Comment down below, give a like, share and subscribe, and thank you for listening. Peace.